Apparently, we're heading back to the Euros. We've got another Euro 2024 tactic with Spain. The only thing on this, the description basically from the page I got this from says Spain tactic for European Cup 2024. It has a picture of Lamine Yamal, the coach, Pedri, Nico Williams, and Rodri. So that's all it really has. We'll see how it does with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town as always. But it looks like something that Liverpool could employ and do well at. But we're going to have to jump into the Premier League and just see how they did. Well, I have to say, with the Premier League table, Liverpool coming in second, but drawing on points, just losing out by a single 3-goal differential. But tied for goals right there. They just got a few more in the back of their own net. But Aston Villa in ninth, not a great spot. 49 points is pretty awful. Liverpool's domestic cups sees them out 0-3 against Leeds in the FA Cup third round immediately. That one hurts, but they do get to the Carabao Cup final, and they do win in penalties over Manchester United. Nice win against Everton, too. Unfortunately, though, Bayer Leverkusen sees them out in the semifinals of the Europa League, 0-2 away from home. They get a 2-1 win, but not enough to pull through. So overall, it's an okay season. 85 points is average for them. Their goal amount, though, is pretty low from a lot of the tactics that we've seen going on before. Semifinals of the Europa League, third round of the FA Cup is pretty abysmal, but they did win the Carabao Cup. Squad-wise, yeah, I would say about average for what we've seen. Not a lot of green compared to what we're expecting. 21 goals for Salah, 20 for Diaz is actually very nice for him. 13 assists for Diaz, Salah with 10, as does Tsimikas, and average rating at Luis Diaz with a 732. Mohamed Salah having a down season this year. And as we switch to Aston Villa, their domestic cup run was not very good. Carabao Cup third round immediately for them, 0-2 against Burnley, and the FA Cup fifth round in extra time against Manchester United. And sadly, no trophies this season. Fiorentina dropped them out of the Europa Conference League semifinals. So overall, not a great season for Aston Villa. The table is awful. The semifinals of the Europa Conference League at least, but still you'd like a little bit better. At least one trophy. Squad-wise, you don't see them a lot in the green if they don't have a good season, but goals 13 for Diaby is the highest. Wow. Zaniolo with 12. Assist 11 is the highest for Digne. 10 for McGinn and Zaniolo. And then average rating, Pau Torres gets in there with 715. Liverpool's data hub is not a lot of attacking numbers. You'd like to see them pushing all the way to the top as best as possible. You do have dribbles in there. Defensively, doing fairly well. The goals per game, 1.82. If it's below 2, it's a problem. 0.76 conceded, 0.89 XG against. Those are pretty nice, though. Aston Villa really showing some attacking issues. No question about it. Some defensive pieces that are bad, but others that are really good. Goals per game. Wow, they are 0.03 more than the Premier League average, 1.42. That's it. 1.37 conceded, 1.4 XG against is about average, maybe just a smidge higher. Premier League stats, Liverpool 2.24 points per game, Aston Villa in ninth with 1.29. But on to the rest of the stats. Most goals, Liverpool tied for fourth in 69, Aston Villa in seventh with 54. Again, those are pretty low compared to what we're expecting from a lot of the other tactics we've covered. Liverpool with fewer shots against, 274. Most possession, 60% for Liverpool, 58 for Aston Villa. Most dribbles made, Liverpool with 696 and Aston Villa with 625. Best pass completion, Liverpool with 90%, Aston Villa one down with 89. And then most shots for, Liverpool in the list with 534. But now, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Ipswich Town not having a great season. 8th place, 73 points, 65 goals is not good compared to what we've seen. Out immediately in the Carabao Cup first round against Stevenage, 1 all in penalties, and FA Cup fifth round 0-3 against Leeds. So overall, Ipswich Town did not have a very good season. Out immediately, there's no playoffs whatsoever. 8th place, 73 points. You're just a bit off from where the playoffs start, but still, overall, it wasn't good. And 2 in the green kind of show it. 10 goals for Connor Chaplin and Broadhead, and that is it. Only 2 for Hurst. Assists 13 for Leif Davis. At least he's at the tops, but the only one in double digits. And Christian Walton up there with 4 appearances, but Leif Davis with a flat 7. Championship stats, Ipswich Town do make the list, but barely. 1.59 points per game. You get fewest shots in there with 5th, 384. Most possession in 3rd with 60%, and best pass completion in 4th with 90%. And that's it. So let us take a look at the tactic itself a little bit more. Sweeper, keeper, and defend is where we start. Inverted wingbacks on the left and the right in support, with ball playing defenders in defend in central spots. The right one has passage shorter, the left one does not. Regista in support, Mazzala in support, and a CM in support. Inside forwards in attack, and then a deep lying forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality, in possession, attacking with his narrow, play out of defense. Passing direction is much shorter, tempo is slightly lower. Mixed crosses, work the ball in the box and be more expressive. In transition, counterpress, hold shape and slow pace down. Distribute to the back line and then take short kicks. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, stay on feet, and step up more. So how did it do for our three teams? I mean, sadly, not very well. Ipswich Town out of playoff spots. At least you want them in the playoffs, even though they never do very well in the playoffs in FM24 at least. But none of the teams did very well at all. Liverpool, of course, second place, 85 points average, but the attacking side is just not there. 69 goals is not great. 54 for Aston Villa is not great. So I would like to see at least a little bit more attacking out of this. And again, this is made for a Spanish national team with specific players like Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams and things like that. So those players fit nicely into this shape. You try it with them and see how it does for you. But when you do it with something like Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Ipswich Town, you got to finagle your team and kind of meld them really in there, or just kick some out and get some new players in the transfer season. But overall, it didn't work well for this save, at least. But if you tried it, let us know how it worked for you. And if you think that this is close to the Spanish national team and how they played in the Euro 2024, again, this is what the creator says is the Spanish tactic for the European Cup. But a lot of people have complained that others that we've covered just haven't been anywhere near what the national side was actually trying. But I didn't create it. Someone else did. I'm just covering it. So anyway, that is it for me, Savvy FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.